song, Breathe Easy. Beautiful one right there. And we're used to the likes of Westlife, Backstreet Boys. What was the other one that sounds like NYSC? Oh my God. But hey, all the same though. Good song right there. King, if you played that one. All right. Yes, you're welcome to the sunny side. You know, usually when I say you're welcome to, another show comes to my mind, and it happens to me on Saturdays as well. So I usually get to, just have that pause to be sure of what I'm about to say. Oh my goodness me. How are you doing? It's Wednesday. It's a midweek. So happy midweek to you. Today is also a day that people get to do something on social media. They call it Woman Crush. Who's your woman crush? Is it your mama or your baby gal? Valentine is coming. Today is the 12th of February. In about 2 days, that's on Friday. Perhaps everywhere will be painted red. Are you planning to paint the town red with someone? Perhaps paint the town red with the love of your life or for yourself. In a good way, though. What's your plan for the Valentines? Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Is that something you ever take out time to mark in your life? Have you done it before? Is this something you do as a married person or as a single person? Generally speaking. Yesterday, it was Jude. I was like telling me, they should do public holiday for primary and secondary school students or so. He was asking for someone. And then he was like, why is this person not coming? Is there no Valentine's Day holiday? There's nothing like that, I beg. I don't know if there's any country where they have a Valentine's Day holiday. I don't know. But hey, on the show, we're not discussing Valentine's Day. We'll be talking about the sacredness of tradition. Beautiful, right? Right? So there is a story on social media where a couple wore t-shirts and joggers on their traditional marriage, traditional wedding day. Traditional marriage, that's what it's called. Traditional marriage day. That's what they wore to their traditional marriage. And the lady defended it, She had something to say about it. More like, yeah, my man liked it. And that's why we're dressed that way. So that's just one of the things that people have, or should I say, one of the things that, or one of the angles when it comes to tradition or cultural traditions that people have chosen to run it the way they will. You can imagine attending someone's traditional marriage and they are playing the kind of song we just heard right now. Yeah? They're playing those kind of love songs from those kind of people. So there are just so many cultural traditions that are being altered in the name of modernity and even self-expression. Some of them are altered in such a way that it's harmless. You wouldn't say, something has really been spoiled. Nothing spoiled, actually. It's harmless. But there are some that seem to strip the customs of their true essence. Something that really makes it stand out. For, like the example I shared with you. Wearing joggers for your traditional wedding. Of course, that particular viral video sparked debate online. So there are cultural traditions that are, I would say, so unnecessary, really. Some have just naturally outlived their relevance. And by all means, like trash actually, should be done away with. I mean, you can imagine us thinking about, those days in the other part of the South here. Is it Akwa Ibom or that area, right? Where they were killing twin kids. So you can imagine bringing that thing back at this time. So when you hear me say that some of the so-called traditions that were practiced in the past are like trash. We should just never, ever, ever, ever think of bringing them back. Killing of twins in Calabar is one of those. All right. But then there are some that it not do anybody anything. It's not spoiling anything. In fact, it makes us stand out. It gives us that uniqueness. And then should not be tampered with. But then the question is, should we let woke trends, maybe, to redefine even our most sacred ceremonies? Should we preserve our heritage as it is? There's so many cultural things we do, so many traditions we observe. And I've already said some of them should be done away with. And some you have no business tampering with because it's not hurting anybody. Is there room for improvement for some? Because there are some that they may look harmless, but the way it is, let's just touch it up. Let's make it better. By better, it could be to align with the reality of today's world. There are some like that. So that's the conversation we're having right now, the sacredness of tradition. And then I'm asking you, what does preserving tradition mean to you? Because it could mean something else to another person. So what does it mean to you when you say, let's preserve our traditions? What does it actually mean to you as a person? All right? And then the other question I'm asking is, which traditional practice do you think has been unnecessarily modernized? So if you're mentioning anything, you're going to give me your reasons why you think modernizing this or changing this, tweaking this, whatever has been done to that particular traditional practice, you think it's unnecessary. Tell us why you think that reform was unnecessary. All right, so we're having this conversation till about 1:30. I hope I'm correct. Let me check and be sure. But we're live on Facebook, though. Get on Facebook and let's talk. Nigerian for 92.3 PH. That's it, Facebook. And then, of course, you can as well send a message via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. At 1 p.m., we'll take a short break for the news. That's trending stories. All right. And after that, oh my goodness, something is coming in between. Ouch. Okay. So we'll see how we'll go about this. So we really do not have that much time as I thought. Oh my God. Okay. So let's just delve into it. At 1:10, there's a recorded program for like 15 minutes. And then at 1:30, there's the FinTech show. It's also a recorded program, more like a repeat broadcast from our Lagos studio. And then at 2 o'clock, the news updates will come up. And after the news update, it will be time for Talking Figures with Choma Ezenwafo. All right. My name is Constance Irele Mega, in case I didn't say it the first time. But here we are. Let's talk. What does preserving tradition mean to you? 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. And 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0007. Let's see now. Send me that message via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416. What does preserving tradition mean to you? Does it mean honoring the past? Or does it mean resisting change? What exactly does it mean to you? Let's talk. Take a message. Oh, please, when you call in, stay on the line. Don't be in a hurry. We have a call screener. So don't think you've called the wrong number when you hear another person's voice, all right? Thank you. Okay, so while I'm still waiting for whatever rebooting that's going on, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Lucia. I'm calling from Port.
All right, go on.
Okay, my own opinion, I would like to suggest Nigeria should be very careful on how they handle their traditional style. Because you can't expect someone that is planning for the marriage to put on gas and polo.
Okay.
Or it's
Your line is breaking. Please, can you call back? I'm struggling to understand what you're saying. Apologies. Please do well to call back. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0003. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Constant Mega. This is Dakuku from Abokiche, the spokesman of Eche.
Dakuku, you sound different. You sound like you've become fatter. I may be wrong, but...
Thank you, Constant. I beg you, no.
All right, Dakuku, I'm listening. Go on.
This topic you bring out tonight is a very, very interesting. From what is the topic you bring out? For me, preserving culture, moreover, those culture that was being preserved, it doesn't have meaning in that area. That is why it was being preserved. Any culture that has meaning, it will be existing in that area. Like when I was in other states, there was a culture they do. Every time of that time, that culture always take place in that period of time. Even if in a day here, that where we call them Basa, also class. Every time of that year, we see that culture will take off. They don't preserve that culture. It's existing. It's just like this Lovers Day we are talking about. Who come out? It has been existing, and it is not preserved. It's not keeping apart all over. So it is existing all over today. Let me stop here. Thank you. This is Dakuku from OKJ.
All right. Thank you very much, Dakuku. So just to be on a safe side, I think you should call this other number, 0817-923-0003. I think that 0002 is shaking. Yeah. So call 0817-923-0003 and 0817-923-0009. Or better still, send me a message via WhatsApp. I want to believe you're typing now. 0809-030-6416. We're live on Facebook, I told you earlier, so get on Facebook and also drop your comments right there. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. What does preserving tradition or preserving culture, what does it mean to you? Does it mean to honor the past, or does it mean to resist change? If it's not working for us, we should not change it. Is that what it means? After all, our ancestors did this thing. Is that what it means? What does it mean to preserve tradition? Now, back to the story I told you about, the young woman and her husband who chose to wear joggers. On a traditional wedding day. So when I saw that particular story, right, I read through some of the comments, and some people were like, oh, finally, he has married his wife and they will go home and live in peace. It's not your business. Those kind of talks, I saw them there. And I was just thinking to myself, is it that these people don't understand that it's not about what you think, it's not about how you feel. The traditional marriage, right? I feel like if anyone is going to do that thing, you have chosen that you must do that ceremony the way it should be done, then get ready to dress the part. The dressing is part of it. What makes it a traditional wedding ceremony? If you're going to wear joggers, it's like also wearing white wedding gown to a traditional wedding ceremony. Like, where's the sense in that? You're like diluting culture. That's what you're doing. Because why would you even show up in the first place if you're not going to look the way you're supposed to look for that kind of event? Really? Modernization is good. It would be nice to wear something that, what's the word now? That I'm free, that gives me that freedom to move my body as I want to. When the bride is dressed up the way they are usually dressed up in those traditional attires, there's this limiting movement that happens to you. You are forced to behave like a lady. Or like when you're wearing the joggers, joggers, you're ready to run. Like, are we Are we a GH town? Hello, Real Gift. Please tell me what your community people say.
Good afternoon to you, my lady.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well, we are told in my community that if for fear of darkness you pee where you're sleeping, you remain with the stench of that pee of yours. That is for the issue of, you ask the question of if we are resisting change, if we want to maintain the culture and tradition. And I say no, we are not resisting change, but I know there are some tradition for me is the distinct thing amongst ethnic nations. What you used to identify me as a Mane person. So there are certain things, like the way I dress, it's part of my culture and tradition, that will point to the person to say, okay, this person from so place. So for me, yes, I am open to some changes in some culture and tradition we practice today. But one of the ones where they don't change in terms of the dress code, would annoy me as I speak to you, my lady. This modern day etibo, they sew like normal shirt in terms of length. And they now give the hand 3/4. And they tell me na etibo, the modern fan. I ask a question. If you don't get material, so normal shirt and trouser where I'm not going to say na shirt is so.
Okay.
Don't come and tell me that you are modernizing it, because that is one thing that is part of the tradition that identifies you, the way you dress from your own ethnic group. So for me, I don't resist changes to certain traditions, but I think we should maintain, because that is what speaks volume about the ethnic group where we are coming from.
All right. Thank you very much, Real Gift. Apologies, Mr. Zion. Please do well to call back. Muriel from Okrika. Go on now.
Thank you, MC. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For me, MC, I think we should balance it.
Okay.
And we shouldn't resist change while trying to preserve tradition. And there are some changes that are good, you know. And there are some changes that we even modify tradition and make it better for people. People will progress, you know, through it. Tradition that will not progress, make anyone progress, should be dropped, honestly. Now, let me start with this couple. They want to wear joggers and this thing. Now, what about the venue? You don't do one and leave the other. If you say you want to go all white, fine for you. You know, just fine. Let the food, the venue, everything, let it be all white. And even the white people we are trying to imitate, trust me, there are some traditions that they don't leave out. Those people still have traditional things that they do. We have the Native Americans and all the like. But I think we should balance it. Now, the Gen Zs, we have Gen Zs and all the like. Trust me, these guys, they don't even want to listen. Some of them don't even want to go to village. That's why they come up with this word, village people. You know, it has made them, scare them from village. And when this thing scare them out of the village, how do they even do these traditional things? But in the cities, most of them don't even practice it. Now, a lot of us traditional food. You know, most of us, we are, yes, in the city, we do more everything white, but we cherish our traditional food. That is to tell you that there are some aspects of tradition that we don't want to miss out. We don't want to die. So we should balance it. Any tradition that will not progress our youth, our young generations, I think we should trash it and look for the good out of tradition. Thank you, Constance.
All right, thank you. Mr. Zion, you're welcome now. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Our culture and tradition are the best and what relate and associate us more closer to God than any other practice. This thing, modernization, is a bully to us. They brought in this modernization to steal away from us. And they have caused us more harm than good. Our tradition, do you know, it restricts us from many activities? and it blesses and promotes us as a people, our tradition. There is a time to be naked if you should in your house, and the time you should not. By tradition, there are certain food you should not even eat. There are certain ways you should not walk. Certain clothes a woman should not even wear, should even go to a certain place. This tradition brought God to us. But when they came with their own, they call it evil. They call it bad, which is not true. A lot of lies have been told, and not one of us could correct it, because we don't want to make them know we talk now, they will give us loan again. I want to ask, this one we look at our culture and tradition as bad. Which aspect that is bad? Look at their own, they call it Halloween. They celebrate it, no problem.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Zion, because we're beginning to sound like us against them. There's no them here now. It is us, really. That's what this conversation is about. And that's why I'm asking you to tell me what preserving culture or tradition means to you.
Is to sustain that that sustains your father and your mother. Those things your forebearers practiced. Keep it. Maintain it. Even Jesus told them, do this in memory of me. Which of those things our fathers did that we are doing them in memory of them? Even to go to burial, we don't bury our fathers and our mothers the way they should be buried. That is why we can't even dream of them anymore. They can't even appear to us anymore. Even if people come to steal from us, they can't even appear and fight for us. They will steal us, steal our everything and run away. So sustaining your culture or your tradition is for you to uphold, immortalize, memorize, teach your children. The Bible says that your word have I written in my hand that I may not sin against thee.
All right.
How many of our culture have we taught our children? Even our local songs, we don't even play them for our children. The West dance and the rest of it, do we do it? We don't do it. Our children can't even speak our language. Some languages will go extinct in the next 10 years to come. Mr. Zion.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Zion. All right. So back to the story I shared with you about the couple who chose to wear joggers on the traditional wedding day. You know, there are actually places where casual outfits are perfect for the occasion. I mean, there are ceremonies where it is cool to wear a casual outfit, but definitely not a traditional wedding. It's not one of those. That's not the place. That's not the time. I mean, even as a visitor, if you are attending someone's traditional marriage and you're dressed in jeans and T-shirts, how does it make you feel? Yeah, there are people that if they are attending someone's burial, all these black on black people like to wear, they will not wear it. They will look for one Ankara material and make an outfit out of it. That's what they would wear because they feel like, okay, we're going to bury someone in their village. So let's look like the Africans that we are. Let's represent what we're going for. Of course, black and black is good as well. That's like the color for a burial ceremony. But traditional marriage, that you are not visiting, you're not a visitor, you're not a guest. It is your own traditional marriage. I mean, what is the essence really? What are they trying to project? Are they trying to make it look like, we can as well change anything we want, anytime we want, however we want? I know someone will be like, do they not have parents? Where were their parents? The young woman in question who is saying that's what my man wants us to wear. Like your people did not know that people were planning to wear joggers on traditional marriage day. Like Muriel said, I mean, if you're choosing to dress that way, why do it in the village? How about you go elsewhere where perhaps go to a stadium or something? Andy, Akpo TV, welcome aboard. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good afternoon. Listening to this conversation, I've just been laughing. First off, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So there are traditional stuffs and cultural stuffs that are outdated. For me, it's very nauseating the way we call burial, the way we bury our parents, our old ones, right? You are putting somebody in the mortuary for a couple of days, and you go and organize one big party, and you say it's tradition. Nothing can be more nauseating than that. Do you know that the couples may have had to sit down and say, this is how we want our budget to be? And I'm not calling out the Calabaris, but do you know what it means to do, quote and unquote, the traditional wedding, buying those attires and everything? You'll be spending millions of naira, both for yourself as couple and for your in-laws, right? Why do you do those things when you understand your purse? What is the import or the importance of it? How does it affect the quality of the marriage or the quality of the wedding? You know, so for me, I just think that there are certain things about our culture or our tradition that we can keep. Why are we not keeping the one for female genital mutilation now? Why are we all agreeing to remove that one? Because we have not been told by the same white people that it has health implications. And Mr. Zion says that they have come to give us bad things. The truth of the matter is that what you and your family believe by certain truths that you have come to is no longer relevant. Please, do away with it. I can, on my fingertips, count several nonsense practices, quote and unquote, that we call tradition. You are closing roads, closing streets. There's emergency. Somebody wants to go to the hospital. But because one person died, is the oldest in your village, is to close the full community, I will say it's tradition. My sister, let them wear their joggers. Let them know where the shoe, they pinch them.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. So how about you? What do you think? Preserving tradition, what does it mean to you? Is there need for modernizing certain traditions? Is there a need to keep them just as they are? Is there also a need to expunge some of the traditional practices that we have? Like some of the things that he has also mentioned. And then second of all, are there traditional practices that we have modernized or people have modernized that you just feel it was not needed, it was unnecessary, you would have just left it the way it was? It was not blocking anybody, it was not spoiling anything. I mean, we can't use female genital mutilation to compare to a traditional wedding. It's not the same thing in any form, in any way. It's like trying to bring up the issue of killing of twins and, and using it to compare to this. It doesn't tally, really. We're talking life and death situation and a party. It's not the same thing, right? So let's see. Messages here. Dave says, good afternoon, my air lady. I think the tradition of traditional marriages taking place at the village home of the bride is being modernized because in some situations it takes place in the city. I witnessed a few that took place in the city when I traveled to my state during the festive period. Some years ago, that would have been a taboo. It is what it is. Daniel says, I learned from social studies in primary school that culture is dynamic. Whatever change we're seeing strange now or trying to resist from the Gen Z would also be seen as an ancient culture in the next 100 years. Fighting it on the long run would end up like fighting the wind. Any practice that does not harm or truncates the privacy, freedom, lives or property should be preserved. Daniel. All right. Mr. Morkia says, our native languages and traditional costumes should be preserved, but anything demonic, dehumanizing, and antisocial should be completely discarded. All right. Thank you, Mr. Morkia. Walter from Rukwaku, welcome. Go on.
Good day, my sister.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Couples choose to wear or something like that, you said. What is our issue? That's what they choose to wear. That's what they used to wear. Traditionally, anyway, like somebody can say, we will use native attires to do our tradition. What's the issue there? Like for my place, Ropoko. Families, they have their list, family list for marriages. and the thing varies. There are some families you can enter, even if you have not done anything. You know what I'm saying? Our primary ruler find it, and the chiefs and elders of the community, they find it not, necessary. They modernized everything. For 2 years now, we have a list, a central list. You come to Rupoku now, as I'm talking with you, with 1 million, you are done for marriage, and we work with that list, and that is why what our people want. We did it to our own satisfaction, the way because we want our people to marry or guests to marry. So tradition, it depends on where you're going. The marriage, the couples can decide to wear anything. It doesn't concern anybody. A visitor can wear anything. Some marriages, I see some people, they make special uniform. They make special uniform for their visitors. They even sometimes they buy the uniforms and give to their visitors. What does that mean? Is that not extra expenses? So this thing is not a thing that we will discuss, because it is left for the two couples. Thank you, my sister.
All right, thank you for calling, Walter. So how about you? What do you think? Resilience and identity of the African culture preservation often draws strength from its cultural heritage. This is a long read. I mean, nobody talks like this. Fostering community identity and resilience in the face of historical oppression. Oh, God. All right. This is what the white man wants to take away from us and make us believe that theirs is the best. Victor from Oyibo, what exactly are you saying? Which white man is here trying to take away anything from you? The conversation that we're having right now is not we versus them or we against them. It's a we kind of conversation. All right. Good day. I'm Emmy from Port Harcourt. If you're wearing joggers to a traditional wedding, you might as well have the ceremony in the gym. I believe in Nigeria, certain occasions have their mode of dressing. There's nothing there if they decide to wear matching Ankara, which would have been cheaper than the joggers they wore. I feel they just wanted to trend and nothing more. You know, that's what I feel too, because when someone was trying to bring up the whole talk about how much it may have cost, I was like, okay, she's got a wig on her head. She didn't braid that hair. It's wig. Wig is not cheap. And the joggers as well, it's not looking cheap. So I don't think it's a money issue. It's about, that's what we want. All right? And that's why I'm asking. This whole idea of modernizing everything, is it needed at every point for every traditional practice? Is it necessary to modernize everything? And of course, there's been this talk about preserving our culture. And we do a lot of things. There are villages where they have taken out time to ensure that certain activities are not forgotten. And so they always try as much as possible to bring it back. That's part of the ways they're trying to preserve their culture. So what does it mean to preserve culture? Does it mean like an old building? Yeah, this building is 100 years old or more, but you know that if you leave the structure the way it is, somebody will die. Or maybe it will collapse. Perhaps it will not harm anybody, but we will lose it totally. But how about we take our hands and decide to renovate the structure and not allow it to collapse on us? That way we have still preserved it. We fixed it ourselves. Preserving culture. What does that mean to you? Who else is here? Good afternoon, Constance. I wore a senator attire for my marriage registry. Someone scolded me that I should have worn a suit. I told him to provide one for me, please. Stallion. Oh, my goodness me. So I was also asking you to share with me some of the traditions, could be cultural or even religious, that have been modernized over time in Nigeria that you are aware of. Some that you feel like it's unnecessary. I mean, the way we do traditional weddings these days, it's not like 100% what it used to be, right? Yeah, because the foods that people even eat, it's not totally the same kind of meal that were served many years ago, or when our ancestors or forebearers were holding traditional weddings. No, we've changed it. There are other things we do these days, all right? There are other things that we do these days to spice it up, to make it, better, to align with the realities on ground, okay? Even for traditional greetings, it's no longer what it used to be. There are people that have held it so dear to their hearts that they will never greet an elder standing, no matter where they are. But there are people that it doesn't matter to them. What matters is that they actually greeted the person. And that has really changed over time. That has also changed. It's one of the things that we have also modernized. I mean, I wish we really had more time to continue this conversation, really. But you can get on Facebook and continue the conversation right there. What does preserving tradition mean to you? And which traditional practice do you think has been unnecessarily modernized? We have to go now. The news comes up. And after that, we have a recorded program. After that, we have another recorded program. And after that, we have the news. And after that, we have Talking Figures with Choma Ezenwafo. My name is Constance Irele Mega. Just stay tuned.